here who is he and then how is the memorized in the Savannah.
Oh, gotcha. Well, this particular house is called the Owens Thomas House, but it's built by Richard Richardson. Lives here for a very short time. He's going to encounter some financial troubles, so he sells the house off to pay down debt. The reason we talk about the Owens and Thomas families so much is that they lived here for 3 generations. So during that time, they're going to be part of the landowning elite of Savannah. Very wealthy families. They got to live here for 3 generations, and the bulk of their money comes from plantations. So I would say their legacy in Savannah is very complicated because they are going to make a lot of their money off of enslaved people. They're running the plantations. They're mainly getting money from cash crops like rice and cotton and indigo. But we also know that it's the granddaughter of Mr. Owens, who first bought the property and owned family plantations, that ultimately donates the house to be part of the museum, the Telfair Museum specifically. So her donation, even though her money comes from her slave-owning family, is still something that really added to the culture and heritage of Savannah as a whole. And it's actually the reason we get to have our house open to the public, and we have the slave quarters where we get to talk about the complicated history that their family represents.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, we are a Mexican sort of influenced cafe coffee shop. We have horchata, Mexican mocha, we got tortillas, a lot of things you would find in Texas. Anything you want to add to this? Because I know the concept of your shop and I do.
Yeah, I mean, it's the second shop we opened after Foxy Cafe. It's straight up, do have food and whatnot, beer and wine, but really focus on the coffee aspect of it. Got a Mexican mocha to go. Excuse me.
The history of the store is the store started.
It's a very long story. The store.
Well, the store started in 1975, and it's been in this location ever since. And then a year ago, the owner of the house and the store sold it, and then the new owner is taking
It's
over.
also the old books or some.
They're all new books.
New books.
All new books.
Okay. So why it's called Shiver?
Because the woman who started it was named Mrs. Shea.
Oh, it's her name. Thank you.
All right.
What is it? Why it's important? Can you ask this question?
What is
What is this building and why is it important?
Oh, yes, this is Massey Heritage Center. This was originally a school. It was the first public school in the state of Georgia, built back in 1856. There was a gentleman named Peter Massey who came from Scotland, and he had a summer home up in New Jersey. And as he would travel through Savannah, he noticed a bunch of poor children who weren't able to go to school because back then the only way you could go was if you could afford to pay to go to a private school. And these students, or these children, were just wandering around and getting into trouble. And so when Peter Massey passed away in 1841, he left $5,000 to the city of Savannah, hoping that that would go towards building a free school. And so the city of Savannah then invested that $5,000 in the two big stocks at the time, which was the railroad and the gas lights that were all throughout the city. And in 14 years, that $5,000 grew into $15,000. And then they built a school. They started building it in 1855, and it was finished in 1856, and grew very quickly. By the end of the 1870s, we added a second wing, and by the end of the 1880s, a third wing. So there were 3 buildings total. And the school itself was open all the way from 1856 to 1974. And we're still owned and operated by the school district today. So we get students here from all over the state to come and learn about their history and about Savannah's layout and architecture and that kind of thing.
So
And
it's a very tourist place. So the people come here and ask for questions. And
yeah, they get to learn all about their history and how Savannah was founded in the first place. And we're open to the public as well as to school groups that come here on field trips. So
Thank you very much.
Thank
sure.
you.
Yeah, of course.
Who is Tamachichi?
Tamachichi was an Indian chief when General Oglethorpe came to what is now settled in Georgia. He helped him.
Okay, and it's very famous here in Savannah?
Yes, he is. And he's also buried in Wright Square, allegedly. He was originally buried under the Gordon Monument, who was a king of the railroads here in Savannah. Then they moved his body allegedly to the rock.